This episode is brought to you by High Point Market. Welcome to the Design Dash podcast, your guide to designing a life you love. Join us as we explore the keys to living the life you want without compromise.
Hey everyone, today Melissa and I are so excited to welcome to the Design Dash podcast, Nikki Levy, the founder and creative director of Nikki Levy Interiors, a luxury residential design studio in Boca Raton, known for what Nikki calls exquisitely livable luxury. Nikki is from South Africa, which you will catch with her accent. And she launched her business in 2012 from her kitchen table. So we're going to talk all about that because she has since grown it into a highly respected studio and launched a lifestyle brand made by Nikki Levy. She is digging in deep to pottery, lighting, rugs, and accessories. So we'll have lots to say about that. And we're also going to talk about how she built her business, how she translates storytelling into design, and how life, family, culture, and place shows up in her work. Nikki, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, as I just mentioned, you launched Nikki Levy Interiors at your kitchen table in 2012. So I'd love for you to paint that picture for us. What did that look like? What kind
Okay.
of work did you start out doing?
Do you want to know where I really started it, or do you want to know where I tell people I started it?
I want to know where you really started.
So I never left my bedroom. I used my bed as a desk for the first, I would say, 18 months. I would sit in the middle of it and I would have my paperwork and samples in a 360 degree around me. So I loved
You
working.
just needed like a big surface.
Exactly. So that is where I really did. And then I got kicked out there eventually, and I was like, you actually need to work somewhere a little more structured. So, I am one of those people who is kind of better in the moment than with a ton of, you have to do this right now in this order. I'm, one of those people. So the kitchen table seemed like a good next step. And the thing is that I was never at home. I was working out of clients' houses and out of showrooms. So, at that point in my career, I didn't need anything more than a small space to work. I found amazing partners to work with, and I took advantage of that.
That's cool. So, I mean, as you're growing, and you've built a recognizable brand, you also have a lifestyle brand, as Laura mentioned. How intentional was this process? Because it sounds like obviously there's a ton of decisions that go into it. I talk about this a lot because not being a designer myself and I'm a planner, but not in the way that designers plan. So does it just come naturally to you, or did building this business come strategically?
So I'm very intentional. I might not like structure in being told how to think or how things should be done, but every single decision I've ever made was with purpose and intention, and it has been going since I was a kid. I knew exactly what I wanted and how to leverage the talents I had, which were very it was tough because I was a terrible student. So if you had asked anyone in my past who I grew up with, would I be a successful businesswoman, they would have laughed and said, that was so cute. Like, no, not her. But I think one of the things I use to my advantage is the fact that I'm underestimated. So, so every single thing I've done, every single point in my business, every single move that I've made has to get me to the next step.
And so you're seeing that next step, but you're saying you're intentional. So is there like a goal? Do you see that goal 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, and then those steps?
So I think that I give very little thought to the 10, 20, 30 year down the road. But at the back of my mind, it's there. I know exactly where I want to be and what I want to be doing. When I was a little kid, all I wanted to be was a bride. I knew that I wanted to get married, have couple of kids, have the white picket fence and the dogs and the whole thing, I also knew that I wanted to have a business.
Mm.
And I had already started planning on that business. So you can't get to the end result before you have taken those tiny little steps forward. So I have known I wanted my first client. I went out, I got my first client. I wanted my first full project. I went out and I have built and built and built on that. Also, never biting off more than I could chew. Or
Hmm.
COVID caused everyone to bite more than they could chew. But we're discounting that. Um, never biting off more than I could chew, but always knowing that if I did this particular event or function or plan in front of me as best I could, it would be the automatic step that would raise me up.
Hmm.
And so you there's no one I know who has gotten anywhere without being obsessed and really focused on what they're doing.
Yeah. How do you maintain your creative energy while you're doing that also? Because I mean, it's not just operations, like you're still designing.
Yeah. So, well, firstly, I do have the most incredible team. Like, we have taken years to put together this team of like super designers. They are each and every one of them more talented than the next. And I somehow have been able to convey exactly what I want, and they know what I want. They can read me, that they know. So as much as I've been involved with them, um, that they do amazing work and we do it together. But so you have to rely on people. I don't think you can scale if you can't delegate. You have to be able to delegate. Um, I think also delegation doesn't mean handing something over to someone and either micromanaging, number one, and number two, forgetting that they're doing it.
Mm.
There's a very fine line that you have to walk. That's delegation. And if you are able to walk that and be as involved as you're giving that person trust,
Mm.
and as involved that you're still putting your brand on that item, you can do it. If you try and do everything yourself and micromanage, you will not succeed because it is not possible. Also, you'll upset a lot of people. You can't give somebody a task and then basically do it for them because that's just demeaning.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
I think you're speaking
that's
Laura's
great.
language right there.
Yeah, well, and I'm curious, like for the listeners that are maybe a couple of years in or closer to the beginning, I'd like to go back to when you felt like this is a real viable business. Was that day one? And then
so
also second part, when did you hire your first
okay.
team member?
So I had to work. I moved here with a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-week-old, and a husband. And so we arrived here, and my husband had started a business, and it wasn't making enough money. It was a startup. So that,
Mhm.
as you know, a startup, it takes you 15 years to succeed overnight.
Yeah,
That's what a startup is.
right.
So in order to put a roof over our head and food on our table, I had no option. So my husband and I got together. He did a lot of the finance. And in fact, he did the finances. So it really freed me up to do what I had to do. But I had no option. I never ever had a plan B. I never thought, well, if this doesn't work, these are 3 other things I can do. This was what I wanted to do. I was fully immersed in doing it. I never second guessed what I could do. I never second guessed anything.
Hmm.
I don't believe in that. I kind of figure out. I truly believe one day on my deathbed, I'm going to be exactly where I wanted to be. And every single good thing and bad thing and mistake and positive interaction that I had has gotten me to that point. So there's nothing you can do that's wrong because it's all getting you somewhere. And if it's something that did go wrong, it's just teaching you something really important.
Mm.
So from that, the minute I started, I was in it.
Hmm.
I knew that I actually had a viable business when some random man in a flooring store gave my name to a woman who hired me to do a whole house. And the funny thing is, he hadn't even seen my work. I hadn't even purchased from him. I just had a conversation with him. So I don't know if it was luck or persuasion or what that was, but that was a very very instrumental in, moving forward. Then I hired poor old Alyssa. I hired Alyssa as an intern. She was still at school, and I needed to go to London. And I knew that I had one client who was really on me about, she needed. So I couldn't just leave no one there for 10 days. So I hired Alyssa.
You're like, I
And
have to travel and I needed somebody here. So.
yeah, like I like somebody to open doors and close doors. Poor Alyssa arrived, and I'm going to London tomorrow. I will be available to you. We are going to have to play on the phone, the whole time for these 10 days. And I threw her in the deep end. Firstly, she was working in my home. Okay. So she was working at my kitchen table. So it was just out of necessity. I was going to eventually always hire someone. Thank God I hired her. She's still with me like 9 years later. She's now studio director.
She made it.
She made it. She always was laughing. She was like, I came to your house. I had no idea who you were. You could have like really been anyone and done anything.
You could have kidnapped
you.
me.
Like, yeah, kidnapped you. I could have done so many things. I said, yeah, I always tease her and say, my long-term goal for kidnapping you is in our old age home when we're side by side on our little, like, chairs. But it is what it is. It's out of necessity. It's a very big leap. You have to trust the person. I've also fired a ton of people.
Oh gosh, that's hard. That's so hard.
It's hard, but the thing is that you have to like the puzzle has to be fit together. It's somebody who you have to be able to train. It's somebody you have to trust. Somebody whose personality and culture fits into your business. It's somebody who's reliable, independent, and pleasant to be around, and all of those things. And if you don't meet any of those criteria, it's very difficult,
Yeah, we've just recently had this, well, I mean, like yesterday had this conversation because we're hiring a junior designer, or two, and
Yep.
we're like, okay, Melissa's like, what are your must-haves? What are your cannot have? And we've just learned over the years what works for us and what doesn't. And it really does come down to culture, especially for the younger hires or the newer designer hires, junior designers, assistants. Because they don't have that skill set yet, right? So you're not really hiring for skill.
No.
You're hiring for capacity to learn.
Exact potential. My dad always used to tell me, don't marry anyone who doesn't have potential. All you need is potential, and then you have to like get it out of them and make that person grow. But it's so important that the person fits in. We've had instances where there was a number of people who didn't fit in with the culture, and it kind of rocked the whole boat. It affected everyone. It didn't only affect that person. It caused a lot of mayhem within the camaraderie and the teamwork and the safety that people feel here. So, unfortunately, you have to think about the whole, what is best for everyone. And you also have to be able to turn around and say to your team, I value you enough to keep this environment in a positive direction, and not, this guy, he's a really good designer, but he mean to you, but we can't do without him, because it just kind of devalues everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes things just don't go as planned, but it seems like you have a good positive mindset. Like you're reframing it, right? And it sounds like you're reframing it both creatively and emotionally. Like we need a safe space to be creative.
Oh, you do. And not only do you need a safe space, you need a space that you have firstly, the ability to go out and create without boundaries. So a couple of my team left and came back, and I said to them, when you guys go, you are not going to find what you're looking for. no one is good. It's very rare that you're going to be in a job that people are going to give you as much creative freedom as I do, and give you as much mentorship as I want to give them. And both of them came back. The one saw me at Kips Bay when I was doing my first room at Kips Bay, and she just looked at me and she burst into tears. And she
Oh.
said, "You need to come back." And I was like, I've been waiting for you to come back." And then the other one also, she called me a couple of weeks after she started her job, and she said, "Do you remember you told me it was going to be vanilla?" She said, "This is vanilla." I'm like, "Well, when I'm ready." And she came back too. The thing is, that's the first thing, that they have to be allowed, creative people have to be allowed to be creative, number one. And number two, they have to be allowed to recharge.
Mm.
So I let them come and go as they please. I let them take as many vacations as they please. I let them take their kids to their dogs to the vet. There's no kids yet, but the dogs to the vet. Whatever they need, they know they can do. And it's because I think a creative brain needs to feel safe in order to really be able to focus on the creative side of things.
Yeah.
Because we have our jobs are exceptionally stressful,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You said a lot of things there. So I want to circle back first to like letting people go out into the world, but you're not taking it personally.
I don't know.
They want to leave and go try another position. I think
No.
that's really important.
So
Because
I have the best attitude on that.
there are
My
so many
attitude.
creative firm owners that may have a lot of ego involved. And like someone leaves, they are wronging you personally. I don't agree with that. I think, yes, go out into the world and see what's out there. You're right. It may be vanilla. They may not give you the freedom that I'm giving you. And I would welcome you back because, we respect each other.
Mhm.
And then secondly, I think that, that freedom, that adult culture where you trust them to do the work. You're not micromanaging. You're not looking over their shoulder. They don't have to account for every second of their day. We really believe that too at our firm. And we're a hybrid environment. So you can work at home if you feel like you need that space. You can come
Exactly.
to the studio. So is that how you're structured for your
Yeah.
team?
Yeah.
If you're a designer, then you know that High Point is the epicenter for all things interior design. All your favorite furniture vendors are there, your favorite designers, manufacturers, tastemakers, trendsetters. Market happens every April and October, and we hope you'll register and attend. We're there each market, and we're always finding something new. We know you will too. Check out highpointmarket.org for more information.
So firstly, when a client doesn't like what I'm saying or doing, or a team member wants to leave and come back, my mindset is, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong.
Yeah. Good
But
luck.
you do you. Good luck. Good luck. And it's your absolute right to be wrong.
You're wrong, but best of luck.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. So how can I take it personally if they're wrong? Um, so that's number one. And number two is there are adults who are adulting and doing their own thing. And the funny thing is, I think that they work far harder. They work at night. They work on their vacations. They've worked on their honeymoon. I've had emails from
No, you're like,
honeymoons.
stop it.
Yeah, like, you girls have to stop. Like, you can't be doing this. Your husband is like right next to you. She's not, he's okay. So
But
people
it's that
just
personal responsibility and accountability.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And they care so much about the business, and they care so much about the clients. I also like to always tell them, like, I'm not going to be here forever. There's going to come a time where I'm going to be wanting to do full-time pottery. I'm going to be wanting to travel the world. I don't know if that'll be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't know. But if they make a place for themselves tomorrow, I have a plan. If they make a space for themselves, this business is for us. We're building our business. It's not just mine. And I want them to know it, because I want them to be as invested in it as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd mentioned trust too. We do the same thing at our office. Like people can take as much vacation as they want to. If you need to leave you're right, not a lot of kids yet, but if you need to take a dog to the vet, like please go do so. And I think that when we trust them, then they trust us, and but yeah, you still always have the people who think the grass is greener on the other side, and then they realize, oh, it's not.
Oh, it sucks over there.
You know what? No job is perfect.
Of course. Yeah.
So I know people who love what they do and they hate the environment. And I know people who love the environment and hate what they do. In our studio, I think we love our environment. Like there is a genuine camaraderie and friendship and true love we have for each other and support of each other. Some of the work is so pressurizing and so difficult, but somehow how we support each other will overshadow that, and the creativity involved overshadows that. So all those, because like I tell every single client in our very first meeting, the only thing I can promise you, something's going to go wrong, and I can't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, but something is 100% going to go wrong. And it's the same for our team. Not every day is going to be great. And that's the only thing I can guarantee you. But the thing is that we're here to help you and support you. And we've all cried. We've all cried a lot.
How do you stay grounded? Like, how do you and your team stay grounded? Or how do you even stay grounded with clients when things get overwhelming or things kind of go off the rails?
So we do a lot of training. One of my favorite things to do is a good document. I love a document. So I spend a lot of time researching like how to have difficult conversations and how to break bad news, with a bit of a positive stint, and how to speak to people and what words to use and what facial expressions to use and when to nod and when not to nod and all of those things, So, and then we, last year? Yeah, last year, we went away on a cruise for 5 days, and I had printed out books for everyone on that. And we kind of went through it and we role play and we discuss. And the most important thing is if something is going wrong, don't answer immediately. Say, I see what you're saying. Let me get back to you. Because anything you say in the moment will never be the right thing.
So acknowledge, walk away, and consider, let them cool down.
Yeah. Exactly. Let them cool down. Acknowledge in a way, I hear you're really upset that this is late.
Yes.
I guarantee you that I'm as heartbroken as you are. I wanted to get you. Let me go and see why it's late. Don't turn around and say, my vendor, he let me down. You chose that vendor. It's a reflection on you.
Yeah.
100%. Don't throw people under the bus, and then get back to them. Firstly, tell people bad news. People sometimes just want an answer. They just want to know. If it's good news, if it's bad news, don't leave them hanging. Don't just not answer that call, Just, even if you don't have the answer, text them. I'm still on it. I'm thinking about it. You're on my mind. Is there anything else that you need from me? Because abandonment is a very real thing. And you're silent is a wrong approach. It's never a good approach.
Yeah. And oftentimes they just need to hear, a client just needs to hear like, yes, this is wrong. I'm on it. I'm going to figure it out. Like, that's it. Not 100%. What the answer is, just that you will find it.
No. My husband always says, what most people want is just a bit of your time. And that's true. People just want to feel like you matter, like they matter to you.
It sounds like you've got some really great clients too. And so I'd love to know, and I'm sure people listening would love to know, how do you get your best clients? Where are they coming from? Is it marketing? Is it word of mouth? Is it repeat? Where are you getting your favorite clients?
One of my best clients who just left, and I just gave it a little one.
And if you're listening, Nikki's waving at someone over her camera. It's okay if the client. Where are they coming from?
So a lot of homes we're doing are second and third homes that we've done for the client, which
Okay.
is so fun and so incredible and says a lot about how we have developed these relationships and how brilliant my team is as well. Number one. Number two is we get a lot of word of mouth. A lot of people call us and they're like, so-and-so sent us here. And sometimes it's not even people who we've done work for. So it's word of mouth.
Random rug showroom guy.
Like 6 degrees of separation. It's like that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know that person, but tell them thank you. A ton of work comes from Instagram. So much work. And some of our biggest jobs. We're currently designing a 20,000 square foot home that has 16 bathrooms and 4 kitchens. And it came from Instagram.
Wow, that is huge.
Yes.
Melissa, please dig into that. Melissa's background was digital marketing.
Our biggest client right now also came from Instagram. And I feel like some of our best and our biggest clients, that's where they come from. But I think it's because too, it's so frictionless, right? Like they don't have to hear about it from somebody else. They see, I like this work that you're doing. I'm going to reach out to you right now. And like, it's their discovery and they're finding you and they're seeing the best of you.
And also they've developed some sort of relationship or connection with you. And a lot of my very closest interior design friends, we've only ever spoken on Instagram.
Yes.
But it's such a close relationship and such a real relationship. And I've met one when I went to California, and it felt like we were old friends, so the same with clients. These people have seen you, they've seen you grow, they've heard you speak, they kind of know the highs and the lows of your business. If you're honest on Instagram, they know the highs and the lows of your business.
I think that's really telling, just because like there are so many designers that are not afraid, but don't invest in their social media or online presence. And they're afraid to invest money in that. So, I mean, for us, I think that's such a big part of our story. It's as big of an impact, if not bigger than our website. Definitely bigger than
much bigger than my website. I think mine is, I think my website is second or third. I think my website is just, people go to the Instagram and from there they go to the website, and maybe Google every so often. But I really love working with Instagram in that it's okay. Let me just start here. Some designers are so polished. They're so somebody's filming them and they have a script and everything's perfect. And if you want that kind of designer to work with, they are definitely for you. Some designers are like me, who I'm flying by the seat of my pants in Instagram. I kind of feel how I feel in that moment and will put it out there. I have incredible taste. So you can just look at my Instagram to know it. And so wonderful homes, perfect business, wonderful family, but also some days are bad and things go wrong and not everyone's happy all the time. And
so you show that.
I show that. And if you are interested in that, then I'm your girl, because that's also going to be me in your meeting. So I am what I am. Me and Papa. Yeah, we are.
And so do you have someone on staff that does social media and marketing?
I do it.
You do it all?
I do it all. I'm a very busy person.
Girl, that's something. I just don't enjoy it. So for me, it's not something I like. And so I shouldn't do it because it would never get done because I avoid.
Oh,
no. Okay. That's interesting.
I don't do it. I have nothing personally. I have no Instagram or anything on a personal. I don't love it. But I like collecting things. I like having lots of things. So I like being able to have like a record of every project I've done and everything. You know what I mean? It's like a fantastic visual of my career. So that's why I do it.
Well, I got on your Instagram and I looked at your Jetson kitchen that you're
I
looking
saw that too.
but I was listening to you describe it and I was like, oh, she's going to tear this down. But you didn't. You didn't tear down the design. Instead, you seemed really excited to make it something that your client wanted to make it. And I thought that was so refreshing because sometimes you'll see designers say, oh gosh, like we're going to make this look so much better than what it is.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, that
we did. I mean, we demoed the whole thing.
Really positive, and there was some enthusiasm about design. And I thought, man, this woman loves designing. And so that really comes through.
The thing was, we totally demoed it, and it was a crazy, crazy, crazy kitchen. And the kitchen we did after that was amazing. But the fact that exists in the universe, a yellow and green Jetson kitchen in Boca Raton with silver walls, is insane.
It deserves recognition.
And so wonderful. Somebody loved that.
Yeah.
I don't know who they were. I'd love to have met them. That would have been awesome. They also actually had a rocket ship wall unit, which was something to behold.
No, I need to see that.
What? I don't even understand
that. So you can see it.
So this is a good segue into design theory or philosophy. So what is one rule in design that you think has to be broken?
I don't, so many designers are structured. They start from the floor and they build up. I don't know what I'm doing. I start a design. I have no clue. But sometimes I'll be talking to my client and I'll see a bracelet on her, or I'll see something in how a word she uses or something she says. And that will be my inspiration. And then, so if she uses like really charming, whimsical words and her onboarding like takes me in that direction, I'm not looking for a rug that's charming and whimsical. I'm kind of finding that like fairy dust of that first piece that everything else grows from. And whatever that is, because I think if you are so rigid in how you design, you miss out on so many things that could have been available to you that you didn't even consider. So
I agree. Do you have any creative rituals? Like, is there something that you just do over and over again every time that you feel like, if I don't do this, this project is jinxed? Basically, are you as crazy as the rest of us?
So, am I as crazy as the rest of us? Yes. I think I'm probably slightly more crazy than the rest of everyone. My it's not a ritual, but I do like to. I know the last thing that I should be thinking about when I go to bed at night is my kids and my dogs and my husband and my family and whatever. But no, I like to walk through the homes in my head. So and just to see, like, and it also helps me fall asleep, actually. I always start at the front door and then I walk through the homes just to see if there's anything that I've forgotten to do or that pops up. And then I dream about it. And often I wake up in the morning and I'll have remembered something that should have been done or could have been done or would have been so much better. It's not a ritual, but it's something I love.
Setting an intention when you meditate, right? It's like, yes. I'm setting my intention.
It's a bit of a meditation, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Good way to reframe that.
So just a few, I think we're coming up on time here, but Melissa, do you have any questions before I rapid fire?
Go ahead, rapid fire.
Okay. So just short answers to any of these. What's something in your home that would surprise people who know your work?
My home is completely whimsical. It's pink and blue, and it looks like it's out of a packet of sherbet. It's.
Is it on your website?
Yes, it is, but it's not in its full sherbet glory.
Okay, we're gonna have to see it.
There's in fact, if you look on my Instagram, there's a room that has it's like a bar room with a banquette, and it has palm leaves and palm tree murals. That's my house.
Okay, Sherbert
Mhm.
Glory. Got
Find
it.
it.
Mhm.
So let's see. What's a design risk you took that completely changed your perspective?
So it's every time I look at a fabric and I say that is really the ugliest fabric I've ever seen. In the very next job, I am using that fabric for some reason. It's amazing. It's like, and I said to the team that it's just because you're thinking for one home in one perspective and it doesn't work in that house. But in the very next house, it's like perfection. So what we think is so ugly and it's so risky in the right environment is perfection.
So it's all contextual. I like that idea,
Awesome.
actually.
Mm.
So do you save those super ugly fabrics? You pin them somewhere and you're like, okay, that's for reference.
No, but I know exactly.
You're
I have,
cataloging.
yeah, I have it all here.
Yeah. If you could design a home anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Hmm. I would love to design a home in the Kruger National Park in South Africa. Firstly, it's so beautiful and the animals are so incredible. And I could just imagine that you could do like a viewing perch from
Mm.
very high up and overlook water holes. And the African sort of vibe of interior design is so beautiful. It's, I I would say, head and shoulders above Europe, head and shoulders above America, head and shoulders. It is amazing and
You're
it's
not biased at
overlooked.
all.
No, no, not fast at all. But it's overlooked. In fact, it's weird you say that. I've spoken to lots of interior designers who have come back confounded and shocked by how amazing the interior design is in South Africa.
Have you done a home there before?
Well, I started off there,
Okay,
but
you did. So you were
not,
working in South Africa before you came over. Okay.
yeah, but not for years.
Okay, this is our last question. What is one thing you've learned from failure that you could not have learned any other way?
Everything I know, every single thing I know only came because I was just trying to keep my head above water. Nothing. I never learned one single thing from a good project. It came and it went. Those bad projects, boy, they were an encyclopedia. They were a university of knowledge.
And it's almost like you can't transfer that knowledge to someone else. They've got to learn it in the same,
Yeah.
it's hard. They've got to learn it the hard way.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Actually, I am working on transferring that knowledge. But, you know,
It's tough.
You got to get a good document. You like those
That is a
documents.
good document.
I have literally hundreds of documents that I'm collating and putting together.
Mm, that's a tough task. Well, good luck. I want to see it when you're done.
Oh, you will. You
Now it's a
will.
book at that point.
It is.
Right? Yeah, that's great.
It is a
Okay,
book.
awesome.
It is a
So
book.
look out for Nikki's book on the hard knocks of interior design. Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us. This has been a great conversation. I appreciate
thank
It's so great to
you
meet you.
here.
Thank you. So good to meet you. And I'm looking forward to High Point and meeting you again there. in
Yeah, I
person.
know. Same.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to check out our next podcast, coming live next week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. In the meantime, you can find us and more wonderful stories like these on designdash.com. And make sure to follow us at Design Dasher on Instagram and TikTok. Till next time.